around the planet, because we're like that. From Poprad to Plymouth. Where else could you find a radio station like this? It's just absolutely flipping astounding. I can't say more.
RTI.
Hello.
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 Hello?
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Is there anybody out there?
Can you hear me?
How are you doing?
I'm not just an ordinary voice.
Not just a film trailer voice.
I am.
A voiceover.
The Mind the Gap voice.
The X Factor voice.
The impressionist voice. So great.
The Big Brother voice.
Speaking clock voice.
The newsreader voice.
The smart speaker voice.
The voice of the balls. The weakest link voice.
The cartoon voice.
The voice that says,
press 1 for customer service.
And don't forget your change, especially notes.
And
Gordon's alive!
We are speaking as one.
to say,
To say, stay at home.
protect the NHS.
Save lives.
and
RTI.
Keep talking.
Keep talking.
Keep talking.
keep talking.
Keep talking. Continue de parler. Bob करते रहिए.
Keep talking.
Keep talking.
Keep talking.
Keep talking.
Don't keep it to yourself.
And if others want to talk to you,
Listen. We can all get through this.
if we stay at home.
Protect the NHS.
Save lives and
Keep ruddy well talking.
RTI.
Oops. First rule of radio, tell your co-presenters that you're about to open the fader, otherwise you hear Rachel talking, which is marvellous.
That's not my fault. That's your fault.
Is that my fault?
Yeah.
You're the producer. What do you think it is?
No, you're no. You're the producer. I'm just the bloke pushing the buttons.
Yeah, you're the operator, so you're supposed
Oh,
to tell us when
you're
doing
loud.
things.
Ouch.
Well, you're all pushing my buttons right now, so stop.
Dave,
Hello.
can you move to the next room and start talking?
How's that if I talk like that?
That's better.
I've been evicted from the bedroom on the nice comfy bed. I've been evicted. Apparently, Robbie wants to go to sleep, being that it's nearly midnight. So I thought, I'll go out here.
Oh. Oh.
We've got a movable studio.
Oh.
Just kill the television. He said, I'm going to go to bed.
Rach,
Go out there.
Rach, it's posh. Outside broadcast unit.
I'm OB.
Yeah,
I'm full OB.
full OB. Like it. I'm going to do some quick hellos before we get started. Paul's going to be in trouble. Paul Turk, that
Why?
is. He's just said, hi, Eric and Dave. No Rach.
Hi. Oh, well, that's rude. Yeah, actually, that is rude. What did I do to you?
Paul, what are you doing? You've upset Rach now. Hello to Pinar and to Cass and to Bobby. Yes, Bobby. That's Bobby. Where else have we got? Sahel. Zamit, Abdul, and Asi. I think that's how you say it. I'm not quite sure because I'm never that quite awake either. But that's another story why I'm never awake, because I just don't go to sleep. Oh, well, there's an easy one for me. Tony, hello, Tony. That's really, 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 really easy. Tarina says, hi, guys. Hi, Tarina.
Hi.
Hi, thank you. Steve says, morning. Axel says, what's up? What?
Axel, bless.
What's up?
I love Axel.
I like. We'll have to have an Axel jingle. What's up? Trina says, "Oh, hi, Dave and Eric."
She does later on say hi, Rachel.
Does she? Oh, that's okay then.
Yeah. Rachel gets her own special mention.
I guess, you know what, for this one time, better late than never, but it's really hurtful when I don't get included with everybody.
Well, I know. John says, morning, guys. Ian says, morning, seem to be afternoon. Ha, ha, ha. And then there's Mitchell saying hello, all. He gets around that one really well. What a smart boy.
Mitchell.
Mitchell's late again, apparently. He's probably washing his hands. That could be the case. And did you get your rug working? What? Rig. What? Not rug. Rig. Oh, God. Gordon's alive! Brain blessed from Mexborough. Mexborough? Where's Mexborough then? I don't know. When something... How wrong blame Eric? Oh, I see. So everything is my fault.
You're in charge.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty disgusted in you, really. This COVID-19 thing's gone on for far too long. Can you sort it out?
Long. Steve reckons, Rachel, are you eating something?
No, I could be if you like.
Oh.
Got some crisps or something. That'd be good on the radio, wouldn't it?
That would be rather... Yeah, it's like people... and Mitchell's just said, Rach. That's it. No Dave or Eric, just Rach.
I know, but Mitchell's lovely.
Oh, God, another
He's got clean hands.
Mitchell knows that I've been feeling a bit left out.
We've got a bit of housekeeping to do before we get started. Otherwise, Igor will shout at me, who's the wonderful webmaster of www.rti.fm, or the simple version, rti.fm, because we've been talking about Mildred as we've got going, and so we now have a special page on the website called rti.fm/ALEXA. I've got to spell it out, otherwise I ruin it for everybody. That's because Rach is the voice of sanity.
Yes, that's true.
Okay.
I am.
Now, on this page, rti.fm/ALEXA for Mildred.
Pronounce Mildred, yes.
Yes, Mildred. There's the instructions, which are so long that Igor called me and said, "Is that it?" I said, "Yeah, that's it." He says, "No more?" I said, "No, there's no more." And he went, "Oh, okay. That's going to be hard work to build a page with, because there's so little there." And it explains to you how to get your ALEXA, Mildred, to play the radio station for you. And it's so simple. And then it struck me...
Hang on a minute. Are we not allowed to say it because it'll set it off?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, what if I say
it? Then you'll be held responsible, Rachel.
If you want to say it and get the wrath of the listeners, that's entirely up to you.
I could say all three.
Yeah, right.
Apparently, do the trifecta.
Oh, Mexborough is near Doncaster. Well, I never knew that.
Really? There's Doncaster in Melbourne.
Has it got a Mexborough by it?
No, I think it's got Keysborough.
Keysborough, that's
close. Close enough.
Apparently, Rach, you sound like you're talking with your face mask on.
No, I've got a bit of a sinus issue, and I'm sorry, but I apologise, but I do have a sinus situation today.
Do you really?
I do.
Uh-oh.
It started when I got here in Canberra. I was in quarantine for 2 weeks, as you know.
That's right.
And living in air conditioning is really bad for you when you've got chronic sinus issues.
It is.
But I did have a bit of a blew my nose before I came on, and I had a squirt of my special spray. Mm-hmm. So I apologise that I sound like I have got a mask on, but I live in a place now where you don't need a mask.
Oh, right. Well, anyway, just to follow up on the original messages, as we do regularly, Paul says, "Hi, I'm sorry. Sorry, Rachel."
That's all right. I forgive you.
Oh, that's okay then. Didn't say Rachel. He's obviously grovelling a lot because he said, "Sorry, Rachel."
Yeah, but sorry, Rachel's what my mother calls me when I'm in trouble.
Yes, we know that. We must get her on again sometime. Anyway, don't forget, the ALEXA page is now up on www.rti.fm. And one of the things that struck me...
Is there going to be a George one and a Tristan one?
Could be.
I get it. I got that.
Yeah, you got that. It then struck me. £18.95 in England. That's nothing. Yeah. It's 2 packets of ciggies.
Nothing.
Yeah,
and you shouldn't be smoking them anyway. You should spend them on this.
Yes, because then that gives you an internet radio for $18.95. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. Honestly, there are other stores available, but this is John Lewis Partnership. And I thought to myself, flipping ding-dongs. Flipping ding-dongs. I have never seen an internet radio for 1895. And I haven't. Have you seen one, Dave?
Can't say I have.
I
might go and do some research.
You're very welcome, because I went hunting everywhere, and I defy anybody to find an internet radio set for 1895. I can't find one. And somebody said to me,
I've only seen a dab for that much.
Sorry?
I've only ever seen a dab for that much.
Yep. No more. But there again, what you're proving to me, Rach, is something that somebody said to me years ago. He said, when internet radios are the same price as a normal radio, I'll buy one. He's got no choice now, has he? He's got to buy it.
No.
Yes, we saw that, Steve, before we came in the office. Apparently, Topshop and all of its sister companies in the Acadia Group are on the verge of bankruptcy.
Gosh.
And believe it or not, that's 15,000 jobs. 15,000 jobs!
In this, especially now, that's brutal.
Very, very, very brutal, which brings me nicely on to the following. Rach, can you explain to some idiot Brits that if you do the right thing, like has happened in certain areas in Australia, that it brings the infection rate of COVID down?
Well, today is a red letter day because, as you all know, I was until recently living in Melbourne, and Melbourne had a horrendous outbreak, and for us the numbers were huge compared to what you guys are dealing with. Nothing but huge. So today was the 28th day of 0 new cases, 0 deaths, and they're calling it elimination. So in Victoria, in the state of Victoria, capital's Melbourne, there is 0 infection, and we had 850 cases at one point. So it's a red letter day. Now, we got there by a lot of lockdown and a lot of, sort of uncomfortable and devastating things for businesses, but also wash your hands, masks, mandatory mask wearing, and keeping your distance from people. Keep the 1.5 metres distance from everyone, which is 6 foot, I think, in funny money. So we've got total elimination. There's a bit of a scary situation going on in Adelaide, in South Australia, where all my family is. So I won't be able to travel there for Christmas as I thought I would be. But what they did was they put everybody into full lockdown, not even allowed to leave your home for any reason. No walk, go for a walk, no walk the dog, none of that. But they only had to do this for 3 days, and I think they have 3 cases now. So wash your hands, wear your mask everywhere you go, everywhere, and keep your 1.5 metres distance away from everybody else. I know that's really difficult in big cities where there's a lot of people, like London, New York, where they've had terrible outbreaks, but you must follow the rules. And if you do, you can bring your cases back down to practically nothing, as Victoria has done. Bravo, Victoria. That 8 months of pain yielded us 0 deaths in 28 days and 0 new cases in 28 days. And hats off to Melbourne.
So Mitchell's asking, is that the virus completely dead and not coming on again?
Completely dead and not coming on in Victoria.
Wow. Breaking news. Breaking news. We need a jingle for that, a trumpet fanfare. Rachel brings sanity to RTI. The listeners are perplexed. So we go to we go to the opposite side of the fence, where nobody's giving a damn, nobody cares. And what are your results today, Dave?
Oh dear. Well, shall we all give up and go home?
Yes.
Oh no, we're all going to go out instead. So yesterday there were 498 new deaths announced. That brings our total to 57,031, and
gosh.
17,555 new cases. were announced yesterday as well. Our lockdown comes to an end just after midnight on Wednesday the 2nd, and they've announced harsher restrictions on the 3-tier system that we had before, which now everybody else is arguing around about, saying, oh no, we can't do that, that's much too upsetting. And yeah, everybody just wants to wander around as normal, really. So let's just give up.
So what we're saying is then, and if I'm just trying to get this right in my head, that if you follow the rules or the guidelines, they're not rules, they're guidelines. If you follow the guidelines like Australia, which is supposed to be the bad people of the world, because don't forget they were the bad people that went there. I'm beginning to think that all the good people went there. You have 0 new infections, you have 0 deaths. Whereas in the UK, where they go, you can't do that to me, it's breaking my civil liberties. You're locking me in, you're putting me in prison. Where they've now got 50,
Yeah.
how many, Dave?
57,031 people have died, and 1,574,562 cases.
Blimey.
It's just amazing. It really is. And the thing that sort of irritates me is that, you know, especially in Britain, you're all reasonably intelligent people. I've never found too many dullards to live in Britain. But what are you doing? Honestly, I sit in judgment on you. I really do. I know that this feels like a breach of people's civil liberties, but you don't have any civil liberties when you are dead.
True.
And you don't. And when you get sick, you're going to be relying on the NHS to save you. So can you please not put any pressure on the NHS when it's completely unnecessary to do so? Please stay at home unless you need to go out. Wash your hands, wear a mask, and if you have even the mildest symptoms, please get tested. That's why they know where the virus is by you doing that.
Yep. Couldn't agree with you more.
The epidemiologists will know exactly where that virus is if you get tested.
Yep. And it annoys me because there's other people saying it's destroying democracy.
I wonder how the people who fought for that democracy would feel about you saying that. Because really, what you're doing is you are absolutely besmirching the good name and the hard work and the sacrifice by the people that made it possible for us to be silly on the radio and for you to have the liberties that you currently have. So show some respect and follow the rules.
Yep. Ian says in the UK, got the numpties about who couldn't give a toss about the rules when most of us are following the rules. I know that's the problem.
What doesn't help is all our MPs all throwing their toys out the pram in Parliament going, oh, no, well, we don't think this is a very good idea. We don't want to do that. That's infringing on this. That's infringing on that. Just let the people get on and do their job and set the rules.
You know what? It was funny because in Australia, when this first all went down in January and we were then getting affected, we got affected a bit later than everybody else. But in sort of January, February, our Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, who I don't particularly care for, but that's neither here nor there, he said, this is what we've got to do. We've got to go into lockdown. We've got to do this. We've got to do that. Now, our opposition leader, who's a guy named Anthony Albanese, we colloquially call him Albo because we're Australian and that's what we do. But he just got up, stood next to the Prime Minister and said, what can we do and how can we help? There was no carping. It wasn't politicised, none of that. And every state did it. Every single state did it. They didn't do it so much in Victoria. There's a funny old man called Michael O'Brien whose career won't last very long after this. But there was no carping. There was no everybody, just argue because you are the opposition, not because it makes any sense. Everybody stood together side by side and said, we stand at the ready, willing to do what we have to do. Never mind the fact that you're Liberal and I'm Labor. Never mind all that. What can we do and how can we help? And that was it.
I couldn't agree with you more. Steve says the BBC have been praising Slovakia for the way...
They have.
Have they?
Yes, they have.
Have they? What did they say then?
Yay, Slovakia.
they were praising your testing regime, the routine you had over 2 weekends. They were saying that was quite effective, and just in general, how impressive it is that you've actually got a handle on it, where over here we just argue.
Exactly. Apparently,
the other problem, of course, you've got is the media.
Well,
over here, because they're just hopeless as well, and just may as well just be throwing more petrol onto the bonfire.
I did start to watch it on Facebook last night, Boris's press conference thing, and yet again I was embarrassed by the stupidity of the journalists asking questions.
Yes, by all means, watch the Prime Minister do his stuff, or whoever they else get in to do these briefings, and please do watch the first 2 questions that are asked by sensible people. They're called members of the public. After those 2 questions have gone, you may as well switch off, because then you get onto the J people, who are as thick as 2 short planks.
In America, apparently, according to Axel, people here, he says, they are crazy on Black Friday.
Ah, yes, because he's gone out spending money today.
Happy Thanksgiving, Axel.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving for yesterday.
Yeah, for yesterday. Steve's staying in until he gets the injection. Apparently, it's going to be 2 of them a month apart, or 1.5, depending on how you look at it.
But that's another. You see, poor old Steve's been sucked in as well, because there is no official vaccine yet. Nothing has been approved. Nothing is going to be handed out to anybody. They are still testing it.
No. I get it, because he's there saying it will happen one day. So I get that. And I think that's what Steve's saying. But, you know, the way that others are talking about it is stupid. Because
it's going to be here by Christmas. Well, it's not at the moment.
Well, and actually, we've paid a lot of money for a bunch of stuff for the one of the vaccines that's been developed in the UK, and our government purchased a whole bunch of it. And it's turned out that they haven't tested a bunch of people. They didn't test anybody older than 50 when they're doing their blind testing, which all seems a bit crazy to me, because it's the elderly people who are affected the worst, as well as people who have chronic illness. But they missed this whole core group of people that they were testing. They said, oh, whoops, oh, that's all right, we'll go back and test all those people, but you're not going to see a vaccine until late 2021, I reckon.
Axel says people just don't listen here in the States, and Mitchell's been watching the webcams out there in New Orleans, and it was absolutely heaving out there. And you know, I'm nowhere near a fan of internet shopping, because I'm not. You know, my father was in a retail outlet for years, and so I'm not keen. But to be honest about it, that's what I'm going to do this year. It's going to be done on the interweb, and I am not going anywhere near other people. It's just crazy to do it. Yeah, I know, Steve. There's so many people out there that actually have weakened immunity systems, and it's just not worth taking the chance, guys. And you know, all these numpties going on about, oh, you're breaking my democracy, you're breaking my civil liberties. No, actually, you're the people that are doing it. You're the people being insensitive to your fellow citizens by not following the rules. And when it all goes pear-shaped, you've got nobody to blame but yourselves.
That's right. They're not being considerate of others who also enjoy the same democracy and liberties as you. You're deciding what their democracies and liberties are, and that's just rude.
Yeah, and do you know what the other really funny thing is? That like Australia, because I've seen it, like the UK, and it's the same here. 3 common factors. All the PMs are getting shouted at by people who don't want to do the job properly. It's ridiculous.
Exactly.
You know, any ideas if T3 areas are going to be tested? I don't know, Ian. Maybe Dave does.
There was something that was said the other day that Tier 3 areas were going to get the additional testing, but it's all gone a bit quiet because everybody's complaining that they don't like the new 3 tiers as it is. So.
Oh, Axel, you naughty boy! Axel's been naughty. It's official.
What's Axel done?
he just said
Axel's not getting anything for Christmas.
That's for sure. The in-laws' cooking will cure the corona.
Oh, bless.
I don't
Well,
think
you should tap that and make a fortune, Axel, because people are really making a lot of money out of this vaccine. So you grab that cooking and you shove it in every person you can find.
Yeah, and I agree. That eventually there will be a vaccine, and eventually people will get it, and eventually it will work. What do you mean, Trevor? It's great you're letting Rachel talk for a change. Hello?
I talk all the time. But thank you. I support my talking, as do you.
Right. And Paul says you're nice.
Oh, thanks. Where do you make me? I'm not that nice.
That's true. And because we haven't played it yet, it's time for you lot to share this with as many people as you can.
1, 2, 3. Wash your hands, your hands. It just takes 20 seconds. Wash your hands. It's for your own protection. No exceptions, no objections. You'll make such a nice impression. No infection if you only wash your hands. And you're done.
From the heart of the earth to the world. RTI.
It certainly is. And I'm sorry to sort of drag the old COVID back again, but it's really been driving me nuts the way folks have been going on about it. And then you get the same folks who go, oh, it's all the fault of social media, don't you know? It's all social media's fault. They're all getting it all wrong, and you shouldn't be doing this and you shouldn't be doing that. You should take no notice. You should go and have a wander around in the streets, yada, yada, yada. It's not. It's not social media's fault. You know, it's the whole thing that's wrong, and it's the same with newspapers, for goodness sake. They're not controlled. I mean, they're supposed to be regulators about, but nobody gives a toss about them. And it's the same with social media. Do you know what the joy of social media is over papers?
The fact you
It's
can
straight
turn
away.
it off.
True.
It's immediate.
And if there's somebody that's writing stupid things, you click on the little box on the right with the little arrows going down. Looks like a sergeant fallen over. Sorry, a corporal. And it comes down and it says, hide all from. So when you get some stupid idiot writing on some pretend blog somewhere, which is basically just clickbait because they get loads of money from you, just block it. I think I must...
There's a choice not to look at it. There's always that choice.
Yeah, there is. So it's even easier than blocking out the bits. I mean, you'd have to get one of those indelible pens, wouldn't you? I know you couldn't do that. Hold on a minute, I ruined that. Because if you put the indelible pen, if you put the indelible pen on a newspaper, it'll go through the other side, so you won't get the other bit.
You redact your own information.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My dad, when he first got a computer, and he would make mistakes, he'd try and use the whiteout on the screen. Good on you, Dad.
Apparently, and this is only allegedly at this precise moment, but allegedly the Prime Minister will announce on Monday that communities in Tier 3 will get rapid testing with military support for his strengthened 3-tier system. So that's allegedly going to happen.
Yeah, that was what he was saying. He was saying that last night, wasn't he?
Yeah.
That because one of them asked about it, and he said, "Well, the military are coming in." Well, that's what they.
And that's the thing. Yeah. I can't stress it enough. And use us as an example, or Slovakia as an example. If you do live in one of those communities where like readily testing is available, if you feel even the slightest little tickle in your throat, anything, go get tested, because then they'll know where it's not.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's not difficult. And yeah, that's a good point, you know. You don't find many of these J's, those people, on social media. Because they won't... See, the reason they're not there is because if you question them, they have to answer.
Yeah.
And they can't do that.
They do put their Twitter names up on the telly, on the BBC.
Yes. Have you ever looked at them and how many times do they answer anything?
No, I've never bothered.
No, me neither. No point. Because they won't. It's just stupid. And it's got, you know, these people, they've got to be held accountable somewhere. And they're not. They can blather on till the moon is blue and nobody cares. Apparently the military are testing in Liverpool right now. Good on the military boys. We love them.
Good.
We love them.
I love the military. They always come in and help. They did the same with us, and the ADF were all over the place, and it was great. I was like, this is good. This is helpful. This is useful time for them, because they don't need us to be in pandemic stage. They want to help.
Well, I remember that in the first phase, when we had the first wave come through, and I mentioned on here that I was actually quite happy. It made me feel good that I could see the army on the streets. And
makes you feel safe.
Yeah, and people are going, oh no. And after the programme, I got loads of abuse about it. And I'm thinking...
Well, that's rude.
Well, it's not rude. If you want to be abusive to me about it, be abusive by all means, but do it during the show, so I can shout back at you for being an idiot.
Yes. Have the courage of your misguided convictions.
Which most of them don't. And I tell you what's really funny. Most of these numpties, they do have sort of like YouTube channels and social media bits here and there. But have you ever seen how many people that are drawn in to their social media channels? On a good day in the tail, 5-6 months down the track, they might have had 40 people drop by them, which is nothing. Absolutely nothing. And Ian says, if the testing does come off that way, hurrah! I can finally get tested. Honestly, I'll tell you, I've told the story. I'll tell it again. Yeah, I hate woodeny things being put in my mouth. I've got I'm allergic to it. Shut up.
Rachel, don't be rude.
Rachel, you are definitely being rude now.
I wasn't. I said nothing.
You didn't have to say a word.
And do you know what that's called? Personal growth. I didn't say
I love it. And I don't even like things stuck up my nose. I hate it. When I go to a hospital and they want to do these testy things like they do before operations and whatever, I hate it. And Martina knows how bad I am about it, as I am literally petrified. But I went through it, and when I got... And I mean, people were laughing at me. Absolutely. The army guy comes down and gives the papers to this girl. And she calls my name out, and I was absolutely nervous. I really was. And I got the paper, and it's gone negative. And I've gone, yes! And I actually shouted out, yes, and punched the air. And it's true. I felt amazing because I knew I hadn't got the virus.
Yeah.
Now, what better present can you have than
a negative result?
Yeah. And I have to...
I was the same when I got mine, because I had to be tested on day 10 of the quarantine process. And I'm like you, Uncle Eric. I have an aversion to that thing that I laughed at.
Yeah. Well, it's got different connotations with you.
Usually they just stick the swab in your throat, but you're probably like me, and you couldn't do that, so they actually had to get the tongue depressor and hold my tongue down. And she said, "Now say ah," and it did that. I said, "This is going to be ugly." She said, "Don't worry, it's been uglier." And I said, "Great." So she's got this tongue depressor. She's got this swab down my throat, and I'm going,
yeah.
But the one up my nose was piece of cake, easy.
Oh, no. Oh. As long as America won't lock down, it will never stop spreading in America. Axel.
In America.
In America.
Which I really want it to, because I love America. It's one of my favourite countries to visit, and I'd really like to. I was supposed to go for my 50th in March, which isn't going to happen. And I thought, when can I come on, America, get it together so I can go back there. But you know what? I'll come to Slovakia instead. It's the only safe place on the planet.
They're throwing out money instead in America, apparently, as our correspondent Axel comes up with the stories. He gets them hard off the presses and abuses his in-laws at the same time, which is marvellous. I keep banging on about this week. I've been banging on about it so much. And I'm actually controlling myself now. I'm not responding to some of those numpties on social media. But I said to them, it's people power that will cure this pandemic, not governments. Mm-hmm. No government that's been elected in can do anything. Because at the end of the day, I can't remember this. And correct me if I'm wrong. I cannot remember a time in my life where people have had so much power over their own future.
That's true.
That's very true, that.
I can't. I honestly can't.
And yet, and just as much power as they've got over their own future, they're misusing it in galactically stupid ways.
Yeah. It seems... You know, the people that keep going, the people power, we want the people to have power, not the politicians, blah, blah, blah. And by the same token, they're wandering around the streets with no masks and everything and wrecking the whole thing. And honestly, I mean, seriously, people, I have been fighting governments since I was a teenager. It started when I was 13, the watery wireless thing. And I've carried on my entire life fighting governments. I call ministers to task. I do it all the time. And yet, this is the time when everybody can win.
Yeah.
It really is. It is the most powerful people time I have ever known, and probably will be the most powerful thing that many generations will ever come across.
And it's not even acquiescing to your government's instructions. It's simply taking charge of yourself. It's being responsible for your own health and well-being. It's being responsible for your community's health and well-being. The power is with the people. 100% right, Uncle Eric. And if they misuse it by saying, "I'm going to do what I want. This is an infraction. I must believe it."
Yep.
Then nothing is good. You're wasting the power that you have.
And Mitchell says, people power will stop COVID spreading, so don't get together at Christmas.
That's right.
Yep.
Staying apart will keep us together.
I'm having a problem here, Rach.
What's up?
A minute ago, you were being rude. Now...
Oh, no, I was being silly.
Yeah, all right, you're being silly. Now you're heavy breathing down into your microphone.
Oh, see, everybody's mad at me about my audio. I'm sinusy. I've got respiratory issues. No, I don't. That makes me sound like I've got to get COVID tested. And I just had one, I swear. I've got a terrible, terrible sinus. And then somebody said that I sounded like I think it was Steve Mann, sounded like I was wearing a mask, and I'm trying to find the balance, and I simply can't.
No.
Welcome to 50 Shades of Poprad.
Absolutely.
50 sounds of Poprad.
Now, I like this one. I love this immensely. I think Rach could be the foreign minister. I'll make Dave the head of broadcasting. When I become the president of the world, then it'd be sorted in a month. It would.
It's true.
But the trouble is, like somebody said to me the other day, why did you not apply to be the Director General of the BBC? I said, well, I wouldn't do that because I work with my lovely friend Jan, who's been so superb to me. But apart from that, there would be no television or radio programmes inside about 4 days. They'd all be out on strike. No, they'd all go out on strike. Because I'd say to them, no, look, sanity here, lads. That's what you need to do. Well, I'm not doing that. Whoa, no, I'm not doing that. Whoa. And they'll all be on strike because they don't get sanity. And that's all they've got to do is get a little bit of sanity in the world and everything will be marvellous. But, oh, no, we'll make it political. We'll politicise everything, which is what they're doing. They really are. And it's wrong. It's 100% wrong.
Madness. It really is. You need to take a leaf out of our book. You know, we didn't do that. Towards the end, we have done a bit because we're a federation, so all states have their own powers to a degree, and people were shutting borders left and right, which in the end was probably a smart thing to do, so that we couldn't get people from New South Wales going into places like Queensland because there was infection in New South Wales and Queensland didn't want infection there, so they shut borders, and we didn't shut our border. We being Melbourne because we're the ones who had all the infection. No one wanted to come anyway, but recently they had to shut the South Australian border, and these guys we've got. Liberal, and when I say liberal, the Liberal government in Australia is not liberal as you would think it would be. It is actually a conservative sort of heading to sort of the right-ish. So they're more conservatives than they are anything else. So to call them liberal was a bit weird. But and then you've got state governments who are Labor-led, like Melbourne is, and nobody grizzled with each other. They just got on and did. They just did it. No politics, just did the job.
Yeah, there you go. Trina says if the BBC went on strike, we wouldn't notice the difference. Oh, I bet you would. I bet you would. It
wouldn't be able to watch Pointless.
Well, actually...
What I watched today was weird. It was when I got home from I went to the beautiful National Gallery of Australia here in Canberra today and looked at Jackson Pollock's Blue Poles, which has been a lifelong goal of mine. So I sat there for about an hour and a half and thought, wow. And when I got home, there was this funny show with this funny guy. It's a UK show called Tipping Point.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, I'm failing to understand what I'm watching. But he was lovely, and I thought, oh, yeah, I'll watch this.
I'll tell you what, though, we've got coming here, I think I mentioned it, actually, The Repair Shop, which is a BBC One programme, and the Slovak state broadcaster, Rozhlas. They've bought the rights to it to do a Slovak version of it. Can't wait to see that. That'll be hysterical. They could mess.
Why will it be hysterical?
Well, they could. They're a bit like the BBC. They can mess up anything good.
Oh right. Okay.
No, it's just horrible. It's just no. Axel's promised us something. Now, Axel, the world is listening to this. If you wish to edit that statement that you've just made quickly, it's okay. If not, too late, I'm going to read it out anyway. Axel stated for the world, I have a track that when I get home, I will have it worked on and it will be sent to us by Monday.
Oh.
Massive call from Axel.
Yes, massive. That's a big shout, man. That is a huge shout, Axel. You're in trouble. Rach, do you have to pay?
Do it.
If you do it. Rach, do you have to pay for a TV licence in Aussie? Nah.
We don't have that nonsense. Speaking of which, we bought a new TV today.
Did you?
For the bedroom.
Oh.
Did you get it in a Black Friday deal?
When I did. When I left my last job in Melbourne, they threw me a lovely going away party and everybody threw the hat around and I ended up with, I don't know, 500 and something bucks worth of voucher for a place called JB Hi-Fi, otherwise known as the Church of Rach. So we went in there and bought a 43-inch LG for the bedroom, and I also bought more 4Ks, which I'm not allowed to buy anymore because Robbie says there's no more storage place to put them. But that won't stop me.
No. Trina's giving Axel a get out of jail card because apparently he didn't say which Monday. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, no, he's committed. He said this Monday. He's absolutely committed. Oh, Axel, you're going to be in so much grief.
If you feel like you're a bit behind, Axel, it's all right because that Monday's before real Monday, which is my Monday.
Ah, right. Yeah. Okay. I think I followed that. I'm going to recap on something because I'm very proud of it. RTI.FM/ALEXA. Really, go there. RTI.FM/ALEXA. It's the info page about Mildred, and it tells you how to set it up. And I kid you not, our webmaster actually called me on the phone, one of those phones with a handset on, connected phone thing.
Oh.
It's not a portable. It's not run by a battery. In fact, the phone...
What century is your webmaster living in?
Well, we've all got them. What do we call them? There's a colloquial name. Bat phones. That's what they call them.
A landline?
No,
like a landline.
No, they're bat phones because they're all internet protocol. But they are fixed phones, cable handsets. You push the button for the speaker thingy, blah, 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 blah. If the electric's off, you're screwed. And he called me on this and said, is that it then? Is that all you've got to do to get ALEXA working? I said, yeah. And he went, gosh. Okay. All right, we'll get it done for you. It's a beautiful page, actually. It looks nice. Looks really, really nice.
I like nice things on the internet. I like to go to a web page and it looks nice. It makes me want to participate.
He does a lovely job. Where's RTI?
He's a bit clever, that guy. He's very clever.
He's very, very clever. Where's RTI.FM/Axel? Now, Axel replies, now you're talking. Axel, if you get...
You're going to need more than one track.
Yes, exactly. It's going to be pictures, biogs, the whole shooting match. And how many tracks have we got to have, Dave? 3 for like an EP?
Yeah, definitely 3 for an EP. So he needs three tracks.
Yeah, so we've got to have
might
3
be able
tracks.
to squeeze a show out of him on just 2, but
3 would be better.
3 would be good.
And I tell you what, Axel, if you do 3 tracks and get them done properly up to our standard and your better half standard, and get me a nice photograph and a little biography of you, we will put a page up on the website dedicated to you. I can't say more than that, can I? That's fair. You'd have as much space on the website as Rach and Dave. Because they're there with their own little bits and their own little pages. They're all there, actually. What's that? Don't know, I don't follow that.
What?
I just say to her, morons, and if it worked. Oh, stop it! That's an in-joke.
Yes.
Would you like to explain, David?
Yes. Steve Mann has managed to set his Mildred up. So when he says, Mildred, morons, then apparently RTI comes on.
No. It says playing Eric and Dave.
Oh.
It's a voice thing.
Yeah, fine.
He's put a voice command skill into it.
Steve, you're hilariously funny.
Not.
I can't find a Wi-Fi radio, by the way, for $18.95. I did find you can buy an attachment to plug into your phone, which will then transmit the audio from your phone on an FM signal to your radio, so you could listen that way. Yeah, and that was only a $5.
Yeah, but they've been around for a long time, haven't they?
Yeah, I know.
They were originally for the iPoo, weren't they?
Yeah, so you can get $29.99 internet radio.
Where's that from then?
I knew you'd ask me that, and I've lost it. It's direct from Daewoo.
From a lorry.
Yeah, direct from Daewoo.
Really, a Daewoo set?
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's quite a good brand.
So there you go. There are them. Just Google internet radio, and you'll be amazed what you can find.
Yeah, trouble is you'll be Googling it in the UK, and people who Google it outside the UK will get different results.
Yes.
So we need the link. We need you to put the Daewoo link onto the Facebook thingy, and then people will be able to see it.
Right.
Axel says, I will, Eric. You keep dropping yourself in it, mate. It's no problem. You keep digging the hole. It's on your... Listen, Axel, as I said, it's people power at the moment, and you are a person, allegedly, and therefore your personage has control of what happens. It does.
Don't expect your in-laws to send a rope down that hole now.
Apparently Mitchell's mum's got a Daewoo internet radio, and it's brill.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Well, there's quite a few now. I found another one. TK Maxx are selling one for $29.99.
Yeah, I figured
I can't see what brand it is, though.
No, don't worry about it. Just do the Daewoo one. That'll do. We'll plug them. Steve says, just get Mildred. Far more useful. It is, but I'm going back to the fact I like my batteries with it. Then it's okay, but that doubles the price.
Can you spell what a Mildred actually is for me?
Alexa.
Oh, that's the same thing. Okay.
Yeah, Mildred's that. George is also is another one of these home speakers that begins with G.
Mm-hmm.
That we've mentioned a bit. And Tristram is the one that's from the fruit company.
Yes.
Oh, that's the one I'll get, of course, because, you know.
Well, my three
fruit
offspring have got the Google Home thing. And
George?
They got George. All three of them.
Right.
It's the one that stands up by your bedside or on your desk with the little screen on it. Well, not little. It's quite a reasonable screen. And they can say to it, George, play RTI.FM, and it does.
Huh.
There you go. I thought all radios were the same circuits but different brands. No, not quite. No, some are a bit different, Steve. They are a bit different. There's a lot that are the same, yes, and I've got into trouble many times through the years for telling people that and exposing the really ridiculously expensive ones. The Mildred speakers can't be as good as the sound coming out of my radio. No, they're not, Steve, Mitchell. Seriously, it's not, because it's a mono speaker, for goodness sake, I think. I don't know. Martin. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
What?
Uh-oh. Martina's sending me messages while I'm on the wireless.
Bring home milk.
Oh, this must be important. Stop the show. What's the breaking news from?
She's sent me a joke.
Oh,
a joke video about a smell.
Well, that's not going to work on the radio, is it?
No, and it gets worse because the joke is about a smell test. Now that's not going to work on the radio either, is it?
No.
No, but I still want to live in a world where there's such a thing as smell-o-vision.
Actually, there was
especially when I watch.
That was done in the UK years ago.
Was that? I want to watch cooking shows.
It was done years ago.
We had little scratch cards, didn't we? They were rubbish.
In the Radio Times.
Really?
Seriously. Noel Edmonds was the host.
I know him.
Yes, him that's in NZ now. And on his Saturday show, they had Smelly-Vision. And it came up on the screen, and you were supposed to scratch this card or scratch the paper, and it was supposed to smell like the smell of the studio at that time. It was rubbish. It was awful.
Clearly didn't catch on.
No. It's nearly as good as the other Radio Times Genius one was. They published a football field with squares on it. And there was dozens and dozens of squares, which is lots and lots. And the commentator on the radio, because they thought this would be brilliant, the commentator would say, the ball has now just moved to square 30. He's passed it to square 22. No, he's going for the goal. He's missed it.
It's not chess. For goodness sakes.
They were hoping it was going to become.
Yes.
Speaking of which, I got to send a shout out to a rest in peace to Maradona.
I loved the song The Vogue as well, especially, and Like a Virgin.
That was disrespectful.
Was it?
I was trying to be respectful, and you couldn't do it.
Oh, are you talking about The Hand of God?
Maradona, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he spent most of his time down on the sidelines, trying to sniffle the powder off the lawn, but still, he was kind of a legend.
What happened to respectful?
I don't care about sport. I have no interest, but if I know who he is, then he must have been someone important.
Actually, I've got to admit, because I'm a closet football fan, he was an amazing football player. He blew it with the hand, obviously. But other than that, if you think about him and you look at players today, they're like, I don't know, garden bean stands and all that sort of, they're so tiny. Maradona was a stocky little chap with a tummy. He had a beer belly when he was playing football.
Yeah, and he was. I'm pretty sure he had a cigarette out of his mouth when he was running down the house. It's like Shane Warne back in the old days when he used to play cricket with a pie in his hand.
I like that.
And still bowl a flipper.
Axel, you are a stalwart, my friend. Because we're getting near to the end of the show, he said, thanks. I've got to go home now, which is a 2.5 hour drive. Wow. So he's going to listen to the show again while he's driving home.
Cool.
What a nice
glutton for punishment, isn't he?
No, well, what we could.
Good on you, Cobber.
No, what we could say is, Axel, look out! There's a police radar trap over there. Slow down.
Axel, look at that testing station. Run in there.
Yes. Axel, watch the mouse. Watch the mouse, Axel. It's running across the road.
You've run that stop sign.
No, a deer, a female deer.
Ray, a drop of golden sun.
No, don't sing.
No, Mitchell told me not to sing because he's listening on speakers. I'd sound better.
No, you wouldn't. That's not how it works. It's not auto-tune.
That was harsh.
I'm sorry.
That's deserved.
That's really harsh.
I apologise. I didn't mean to hurt your feels.
Well, you have.
Apologise. Deeply apologise. You know what you should do?
What?
You should ban me from a show. And I'll tell you which one. Hang
on. Got lost food. What? He's going through from Long Island. Got Ethan and lost food. Right, I really didn't get that, mate. In fact, I'm completely and utterly lost. And while you get round to our answering, Rachel's going to tell us what wonderful things she's going to be up to now. She can go out.
I know. I'm so excited. Well, as I said today, I went to the Australian National Gallery and it was beautiful and wonderful. If you're in Canberra one day, I'll take you. And tomorrow's a bit more boring and laborious because I got Robbie back. We've got all these boxes still we haven't unpacked because we've actually bought all this new furniture to put all these lovely possessions of ours into, but because you're in Canberra, everything's manufactured in Sydney or Melbourne, and it takes about 3 or 4 weeks to get the furniture you've ordered. So we're still in a mound of cardboard, but we'll get through it. And then Robbie goes back to work on Monday.
We're talking of cardboard boxes. Our cardboard box from England arrived for Christmas, and as it was being opened, there was these boxes of like different Weetabix and things like that. And Martina phoned me from home because I was still in the office, and she said, "Look, we got it all." Oh, what? And she picked a box up. She said, "Martina's," another box. "Martina's," another box. "Martina's," and then it got to turkey gravy, which is a tiny little sliver of a thing. And she said, "Oh, that's for Eric." And then we go back to Sarah. That's the big box. But I did get.
Well, actually, I happen to know there is a box currently in the air on its way to you.
Oh.
I'm not telling you what's in it because, you know.
No, well, I guess.
But getting a severed head through customs is really tricky.
Dave, what are you up to, mate?
I think I shall be celebrating Sinky Day.
Sinky Day?
Yes, today is Sinky Day. It's a day when you can't be bothered to do any washing up, so you eat your meals over the sink. It saves washing up.
That's
right.
so depressing day.
and Axel says, Axel, you have to go to your in-laws for food.